Well, no, I didn't. I said right off the freeway, which is where we are.
Yeah, you said right off the freeway.
And the Google map said it was Texaco, but it was actually a shell.
I'm pretty sure you also said Texaco.
I did, because Google Maps said Texaco, but it's shell now.
Looks like a shell to me.
Blame Google Maps.
Hey, maybe it's you that's the one that's bad with directions.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm listening.
Don't chew gum and ride. Don't chew gum with your motorcycle helmet on.
I won't. Don't sneeze either. Don't throw up either. Those are all good tips for the day.
What are you on, pink team? Is that what's happening?
On, yeah, a pink team. It's.
What are you on the pink team?
Yeah. Today.
It's pretty.
I got my eye on you, big boy.
Pretty.
I'm watching you.
Your bike's cute.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You got a lot of accessories too. Stickers, flames, stars.
On blue team, or you can be on pink team.
Hey, I'm secure in my masculinity. It's Z I'm wondering about.
Come on, ladies, I attract those from... Let's go.
All right, let's go. And I already lost him. Go! Forgot my goddamn chin strap.
Yeah, we're off to a real good start, aren't we?
We'll get there sometime in October. So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of CNCycle. Today, I am with that delinquent from the suburbs in front of me. And behind me, I got his buddy Z, who never remembers me, even though I've met him like 5 times. And today is pretty cool. This is going to be a good one. I got to give myself a little pat on the back for this one. We're on our way. Is he trying to give himself oral copulation? I don't know. We're on our way down to Temecula. Those of you who aren't familiar with Temecula, it is a wine region of Southern California. It's probably the least famous and the smallest wine region of California, but it's still pretty good. It's nestled, I believe, in San Bernardino County. Actually, excuse me, Riverside County. And we're going to a place called Doffo Wines, D-O-F-F-O. It's owned by the Doffo family. It was founded in 1997 by Mr. Marcelo Doffo, and I believe his wife, Zumba? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize if I'm butchering the pronunciation. And then I believe it's their son, Damien, who I've spoken to. And they're known for their reds. And they're an Argentinian and Italian descent. So I'm guessing it's probably Italian and Argentinian wine. Apparently in the middle of the property there is an old historic schoolhouse, and the reason why Mr. Doffo picked the spot was because it reminded him of his old schoolhouse in Argentina. Here is the kicker. The Doffo family are motorcycle enthusiasts, and on the grounds, on the winery, are a collection of motorcycles. I believe he has a whole room dedicated to it, and from what I read, there's over 100 bikes there. Mostly vintage race bikes. So we're invited down to come check it out, and it's a combination of 2 things I love, wine and motorcycles. Anyway, we got some freeway time now, so I'll go ahead and sign off until we get closer to the winery. See you in a bit. Alright guys, well, we're starting to get into wine country now. As you can see, there's some vineyards over here to my left. We're almost there. I think we're just a couple miles away now. And I must say, I'm pleased with the weather. I thought it was going to be really hot. It's actually very comfortable. Oh, by the way, my mother mirror came loose on my left side. I think that's it. I think I'm going to put the stock ones back on. Doffo Winery, there it is. Next right. I'm getting bombarded with bugs. I've got bug guts all over my visor. I think that's my sign right there. What's that? Nah, we made it. He gets lost, not me. Should we go inside, check it out? Let's do it, Z.
Well, yeah, we want to put motorcycles on the wall.
Yeah.
And so we were going to make our own clamps for them. We were trying to figure out with my dad how we could make clamps or somehow, you know, fasten the wall. So he's like, well, let me design racks for you. So he did a prototype, and it was okay. It needed some tweaks. It needed to be stronger, actually. So they welded these, and then made us a bunch of them. We powder coated them. And then he helped us design the spiral. But it was a forklift and 2 tie downs. So we attached the bracket and get the motorcycle on there with a pallet. Yeah.
So 162 motorcycles. So when are you gonna stop this time? 200?
No, I think what he's starting to do now is he's starting to buy higher end. Because we have a lot of used motorcycles, but
right.
If you look at the outside, there's not
the website. You're of Argentinian and Italian descent.
Yes.
Those two places are pretty far apart from each other. How does that work?
My great grandfather migrated from Italy to Argentina.
Okay.
In the 1890s. So, but my dad was raised speaking Italian.
Okay.
So we're identity complex.
It's 1947?
He just did over 1,000 miles on that bike.
Wow.
A group of, there's like an Italian group, all own Falcones, and they came over, they shipped them from Italy, and they rode all over the United States, and when they came to California, my dad met up with them in like Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
And rode with them Grand Canyon. Yeah. My sister's actually going to race with us in April.
What race is that?
We're going to race, we'll race the vintage stuff and Arma, so Willow Springs.
Okay. That's cool.
And then on April 20th, we rented out Chuckwalla.
Oh.
So we're doing a private track day at Chuckwalla. Oh shit, I was missing out.
You ever been to Barber?
I haven't been to Barber. My dad raced Barber.
Yeah.
And that's where I got this inspiration.
Yeah.
There's just against the wall, you don't get the full spiral effect. We raised just over $9 grand for them. And so this year we're doing it again.
And what does the foundation support?
Rider safety.
Okay.
So they go to sanctioning bodies, and they really they ask them to improve the rider safety aspect, and they push to really protect the riders. That's our whole focus. So it's a good cause. I mean, anyone who rides, I think safety is always one of our top priorities.
As it should be.
So it's something that is very easy to, as a rider, very easy to understand and to support. It's like we want to keep people riding motorcycles longer. You want to keep your kids safe. You want to, especially when you start to get into motorsport. Like, I don't know, I think safety gear is super important, and to have a sanctioning body that gets behind and really pushes to advocate safety for the rider. Most important. Well, the bikes outside, the whole idea of the bikes outside were all bikes that people can associate with growing up in the 60s and 70s. Our crowd is a little bit older, so a lot of the bikes are, I had that one, my neighbor had that one, that was my first bike.
Where'd you guys collect them? Just from the family?
Everywhere really. eBay, Craigslist, Argentina, Italy. And what's interesting, once you start to have a lot of motorcycles, people come out of the woodworks and
I'm sure.
and offer you bikes, you know. Sometimes people just drop bikes off.
Really?
Yeah. Had that happen several times.
So who's in charge of maintaining all these bikes?
Define maintaining. Firing them?
Yeah.
We don't ride them enough. It's hard, dude.
You've got 162 bikes. That's a lot of oil changes.
It's hard. But we have a couple friends that are mechanics that come over and turn wrenches and help.
So this is the private selection that most people don't gain access to.
Hello.
Ducati, 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 Ducati.
There's probably only 10 in the world, less than 10 of those in the world still around.
It's pretty awesome.
Very, very rare. We had to have all the body work remade by a custom.
Was it all smashed out and rusted?
No, it didn't exist. My dad had it took my dad like 7 years to build that thing, just because there's no parts. So we had to fab parts. We had to figure out how to make the body work.
So you said this was before motorcycles. This is from this is what
From this bike they made the 60 that we have in our tasting room.
Okay. What year is this?
That's early 40s. My dad wanted one so bad that he made himself a replica, and then a couple years later, one popped up in a crate. Pretty much, it was just all torn down. So he picked it up. So he hasn't submitted this to a show yet, but this is like 99.9% correct as far as build goes and restoration. So that's a Ceccato race bike. That was a very early build for my dad.
What's the fascination with Ducatis?
My dad grew up in Argentina, and the town that he lived in, every Sunday they would do races outside of town, like they have a dirt track.
Yeah.
And so the whole town would go and you'd bring what you run what you brung and just go race. And my dad's uncle worked at a Ducati dealership in the neighboring town. So what he would do is he would come in on the newest Ducati and just show up at the races to try to sell it. And so my dad at a very early age would see the Ducati. And the Ducati was always the fastest, always the prettiest.
We are now leaving Doffo Winery. That was awesome. I have a lot of footage. There's the main showroom that everybody gets access to. And then there's also over there a private room, a private garage, which Damien showed us. And then he took us into the house, the super exclusive tour that nobody gets to see. They have 15, 20 motorcycles inside their home. Amazing vintage bikes, super rare, just awesome, awesome bikes. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great one, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.